Hi everyone. Um, I literally just made another video, but I figured while I'm sitting here making videos, I should just, while I have time and I'm thinking about it, I should just make the videos I have, like, try and get through my list of videos I want to make. So, yes, I'm in the same spot. Yes, I haven't moved, and blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to talk about my dog because, and I've seen several comments that people love hearing about Bonnie, which that just tickles me pink because she's just such an important part of my life, and it's like she's not a pet to me. She's my savior. She's my partner. It's like I can't even put into words, um, like what a big part of my life she is. Um, and the fact that other people like to hear about her, um, just really tickles me pink because she is a part of our lives and she's a major part of it. Um, so I will try and do more videos involving her, or at least talking about her. I'm trying to get her attention long enough to do a training video, but obviously I tried to do a video of like one of her training sessions, but it was a little hard to hold her attention. For reasons I'm going to discuss in this video, but also because typically in a training session, it's just me and her, and we're ignoring everything else. We're not doing anything other than training. And when I was trying to do the video, it wasn't like I was just completely zeroed in on her and training and working with her. I was also trying to manage my camera. Um, and whatnot. So I was trying to make sure we were both staying in view of the camera and adjusting it. And Bonnie was like, What are you doing?" Because that's not something she's experienced before in a training session, is mommy messing with the camera and stopping every 3 minutes to mess with the camera. So I'm trying, and it just distracted her every time because every time, I went and messed with the camera, she thought we were done. We were done and we weren't, and blah blah blah. So hopefully I will be able to get her attention and get my camera set up a little bit better where I can just kind of record one of our training sessions. And that one might be a little bit longer, guys. It'll probably be like a 15-minute video, because our training sessions alone are 10 minutes at least. So that one might be a little bit longer, but anyways, so since everyone likes hearing about her so much, I do plan on talking about her more in the videos and like involving her a little bit. She's out cold right now. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. That is a rare thing. So as many of you have probably either heard, if you've watched a couple of our videos, or at least figured out by now, Bonnie is, and has been for 3 years, is my service animal. She is a psychiatric service animal, and I trained her myself, because let's be honest, I do not have 17 grand to put towards getting one from a school. That does not make her any less of a service animal. She's just as well trained and on it as any service animal from a school, so it's beside the point. One's just a cheaper option and harder. But I've had her for 3 years, but I think what people don't realize, because a lot of people, when they get a service animal, it's like 3 years old max. Usually they get their service animal when the dog is like 2 or 3, but typically 2.5, 3 years old is about the age that a service animal will be given to their handler or whatnot. I got Bonnie when she was 5. And she was not trained as a service animal. She was a rescue animal, and really, I think I went into this on another video, so I'm just gonna skip over it. But basically, I got her when she was 5, and I've had her for 3 years now. And in April, we don't know the day she was born, so we just celebrate her birthday like the first week of April. But she's 8 now. And so she is an older dog. Especially because she is a boxer greyhound. They have shorter life expectancies. They're only 10 to 12 years for their life expectancy. And my hubby and I had been talking over the last couple months of like, hey, she's not that old, but Bonnie's getting up there, and here in like a year or so, we ought to probably look into retiring her and looking for a new dog to train. Well, long story short, and that was a really hard thing for me, and I don't think it's easy to explain. I think it's something that people who do not have a service animal have a very hard time understanding. Because Bonnie is not just a pet to me, because she actually plays a very important role in me being able to live independently and safely and function and just do better on a day-to-day basis, she makes a huge impact. And there's a very special bond that like I've never had with just a pet. Because not only am I taking care of her, her main purpose is to take care of me as well. I mean, it's 50-50, I like to think. But it's definitely a big thing for people. For service animal teams, that connection is a huge thing. And for 3 years, I have had my dog by my side pretty much 24/7, and whatnot. And even though I knew in my head we were going to have to retire her in the next year or so, just because she's getting up there, I kept, like, trying to avoid it. Like, I kept trying to get out of it. And I mean, even the last couple months, I'm like, she's not even really happy to go to work anymore. She will, but she's not showing the same excitement or interest in it that she was. It's just something she's doing because I've trained her to, if that makes sense. But I've been kind of sitting there trying to avoid it and like, oh, well, maybe she's good for another 6 months. Well, maybe she'll be all right for till next year. And just trying to put it off, essentially, is what I was trying to do in my head. I was trying to put off retiring her. Just because it is a very difficult and quite sad thing, actually. But, so, to make that longer story shorter, we were going through Hannah the Pet Society. Sorry, I know that was really unattractive, but my allergies are fucking nuts right now. But when we were going through Hannah the Pet Society, they took really crappy care of her, and whatnot, and really weren't doing anything they were supposed to. So we went ahead and canceled her services. But it was brought to our attention about a week ago that Bonnie had a pretty severe ear infection, which is a problem. I've had them, they hurt like blazes. Like, it's not pleasant. So obviously I did not want my dog to deal with that any longer than was necessary. So I wound up signing her up and taking her into Banfield, which is a pretty common pet hospital out here in Oregon. I don't know about where everybody else is, but Banfield's a pretty common and major pet hospital vet clinic here in Oregon. And they did a really comprehensive exam for everything. Literally, if they could test for it, they tested for it, and whatnot, which is great because she is aging. And we actually received 2 diagnoses today. One is something we were kind of suspecting, but we were also really doubting because, in our opinion, she's really not that old. Like, she's getting older, but we didn't think 8 was like that old. But apparently, according to the vet, 8 is really old for her, which is hilarious because she doesn't act like she's super old. But she was diagnosed with a condition called, oh my gosh, see if I can say the actual name. It's canine cognitive dysfunction, which is essentially just puppy version of dementia. um, Unfortunately, for whatever reasons the universe has out there, Bonnie just has really early onset puppy dementia or CCD or whatever. That's a mouthful for me, so I'm just going to say puppy dementia because essentially that's what it is. It's just the puppy version of dementia. So basically, usually they do see it later, like towards 9 or 10. She just has early onset for whatever reason and whatnot. But basically, puppy dementia is the tissues and cells in her brain are literally breaking down and dying. Um, and like it's one of those diseases that are just progressive and there's nothing we can do about it. So over time, it's gonna get worse. um, Thankfully, there is medications we can put her on to help slow the progression, but it's still gonna get worse. It'll just slow down how fast it gets worse. Um, so that was rough. No pun intended. Dog rough. Anyways, um, but like it's hard because we kind of suspected it, but we kept brushing it off because we're like, Bunny's not old enough for that. And it's not like it's really, really bad yet. It's still in its really early stages. So right now she's just kind of acting like a darn fool. Like she still recognizes me and, will do certain commands and stuff, but it's like she's cranky, which is one of the signs is really kind of personality changes. Oh my gosh, so many jokes there. It's not even funny. All right. But like she used to be a really well-tempered dog and now she's been getting like really a lot crankier over the last couple months. And she's got like her circadian rhythms all backwards. So like she sleeps most of the day unless I like make her get up and will be up for about 6 hours at night. So from about 12 to about 4, she is awake when she needs to be sleeping and sleeping when she should be awake. And so basically she's just backwards. And she's just kind of forgetting how to do certain commands, and whatnot. So it's just a matter of working with her on those commands, basically going back to stage 1. So much fun, and whatnot. And we kind of suspected it, so it wasn't a major shock, but it was a shock at the same time because we thought she was too young. The other thing that she was diagnosed with, which totally caught me off guard because it wasn't obvious enough that I suspected it at all because she wasn't showing obvious symptoms. And apparently that's not always how it goes. Sometimes it's really hard to tell and you have to look for the subtle signs. And that is that she has the early stages of arthritis, which, I mean, the fact that my dog got arthritis, not terribly shocking. Boxers and whatnot are really, really famous for it, especially bigger dogs like her. They're really well known for getting it. But she just didn't seem to be showing signs until, like, I thought about it and I was like, well, if I ask her to jump up, she won't always. Or she will lay instead of sit. Or, and I'm like, and sometimes when I go to move her, she yelps. And I'm like, oh, it's all these little things. It's not like all of a sudden my dog won't jump up on the bed or can't make it upstairs. And whatnot. But that basically, point blank, end of discussion, means I have to retire Bonnie. It's one of the main things with a service animal is as soon as they start developing arthritis, you have to retire them. Because I don't know how familiar you guys are all with arthritis, but it's basically her joints and whatnot are really, really inflamed, and it's painful. And it's just not okay to make an animal or even a person work through pain. So that kind of settled it. I can't really sit here and be like, well, maybe another year. I could actually kind of get in trouble if people found out I was making my dog work and she had arthritis. It's highly frowned upon. Yes, I typically could still get away with it technically, but I really shouldn't. So she's basically retired as of yesterday, because that was just the end of the line. Which on one hand I'm happy because now she can just breathe and relax and be a dog. And I think there's a lot of stuff she won't ever quit doing, as far as service animal work. But it's also sad because that means I get to look for another puppy, hopefully one that is not 5. I'm hoping for anywhere from like 8 months to like 2 years. That's kind of what I'm looking at. They're easier to train, less likely to be like, complicated history, but also because, I want to be going through this again in 3 years. Just to be like completely honest, I don't want to get a dog in 3 or 5 years being like, and my dog is super old and we get to go through this all over again. So, oh crap. Speaking of my dog, my hubby has her eardrops, and I just realized that I have to put them in here in about 2 hours. Anyways, yeah, like, literally, new puppy meds. And then I have a medication for her that has to be in the fridge, so there's 3 right there. And then she's got her other eardrops that my hubby has. And then she's got this crap that I have to give her in like 2 weeks. I feel like I'm taking care of my grandma. Like her box is starting to look like my grandma's. But anyways, so I just kind of wanted to give that update, that we have made that decision, that she's going to be retired. So that's just something we're having to come to terms with. It's not like I'm losing her or I'm not going to have her. She's still going to be around the house. I get to keep her and whatnot. It's just, I have to come to terms with that I will be getting another dog. I will be training another dog. And it will be a different animal by my side when I run my errands. And it's not going to be Bonnie going to my doctor's appointments with me. Or it's not going to be Bonnie that takes the bus with me anymore. Like, it's not going to be Bonnie that's sitting there stopping me from walking out into traffic. Or it's not going to be, well, if I'm out and about, it's not going to be Bonnie letting me know my heart rate's too high. I think if I was at home, it'd still happen. Like, that's just something she naturally does. But we're trying to come to terms with it and just accept, like, hey, we knew this was going to happen. Like, we knew she was going to get old and eventually we were going to have to retire her, but we had prepared that for being, like, when she was 10 or 11, not 8. So, and I mean, she'll still technically be a service animal, just she won't be working anymore. So that's update on my dog. They're like children. But I love her to death. Anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you guys for watching this. And it does have me really worried. I know there's not a lot to worry about, but if you guys could just kind of, I don't know, prayers, positive vibes, whatever, just kind of keep her in your thoughts, because I'm really hoping that all her new meds help slow it down and it doesn't like progress super, super fast. So if you guys could just keep her in your prayers for me or your thoughts or send some good vibes or whatever, that would be really great, because like I don't want her to be in pain and I don't want it to progress super fast, and I just want her to be as comfortable as possible. So It'd be great. Anyways, thanks, guys, and I will catch you later.